You know what? You're not allowed to talk either. You get censored too.
Yeah, I see the point
you're
making.
The show's mine now. The show's mine.
Keemstar. This is my show.
All right. Why are we talking about free speech? Why does this even matter? I thought we had free speech in the Constitution.
The table.
I thought we had free speech in the...
So if you're wondering why the audio is a little different today, we're using Chris's phone. Kaleb left the microphones at his school. Here's what I said. 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 Someone is gonna be fucking smashing the table.
Don't fucking hit it.
There we go. Here's what Kaleb said when I told him there's gonna be shitty ass background noise.
There won't be any background noise.
No, I never said that.
That is exactly what you fucking said. That's exactly what you fucking said.
Don't make background noise, you fucking chimp.
I'm backing up Robbie on this one.
Back up that ass right on my fucking
But Kaleb, we already have free speech in the Constitution. Why are we talking about free speech?
That wasn't funny.
Explain. Why are we talking about free speech? Why do you want to talk about free speach?
You know why I want to talk about free speech?
Yes.
Because we don't fucking have it, Chris.
Why not?
We don't fucking have it.
Well, I mean, it depends on where you are. No.
That's what
if you're in public...
I'm talking
I'm
saying
kind of.
we. When I say we, it's us three. I'm talking about we don't have free speech.
I mean, right now in
What do
this
you mean by
room
that?
we can upload this podcast to SoundCloud and
I can't
there's
even,
no repercussion.
I can't even criticize my school's food on a review without it being censored either in the school paper or the school news thing, the night vision.
Do you think you know ice cream? I bet you don't. We're going to get our team together to see if they can tell the difference between 3 different types of vanilla ice cream. Let's see how it goes.
That spoon is most likely is a creamy. Okay. This I can't do a food review of their actual shitty goddamn food that's overcharged because they don't want it in there, and they have all the power to just censor me.
Yeah, again, that's what I'm saying. If you're in high school, you don't have free speech.
Yeah,
and there's actual court cases where they say, yeah, if you're a fucking student, fuck you, you don't get free speech, faggot.
Which is bullshit.
A lot of our public institutions are founded on the idea that you should have free speech as a citizen, but in certain places they give you the ability to, I guess, restrict it.
There's war clauses where if we're in times of war, they can
suspend habeas corpus,
Alien
etc.
Sedition Act,
all that lovely fun stuff that you
They
learn
can make
in
whoever
history
they
class.
want disappear anyway, so it doesn't really fucking matter.
The government killed Tupac.
West Side!
Y'all know Barbara Bush died.
She did die, yes.
Didn't she order the assassination of fucking
No.
80-something?
Conspiracy theory hour, InfoWars, there's a war on your mind.
Face it right now! We're under attack! Break out of your mind control! I'm fighting these people as hard as I can. How about you die? Kill your fucking selves! You fucking globalists! Go ahead, dude.
What the fuck are you talking about? Someone told me, it's like, hey, Kaleb, you know Barbra Bush died. I'm like, okay, who's Barbra Bush? And you don't know fucking Barbara. Hey, shut up. Let me talk.
Fucking know Barbra
Let me finish
Bush
the
is?
story, you blonde fuck. So oh fuck, Kaleb, how do you not know who Barbra Bush is? I'm like, I don't know, maybe because I live under a goddamn rock. They're like, okay, let me show you who Barbra Bush is, and shows me a picture of Barbara Bush. I was like, why is this old ass bitch standing next to George W. Bush? She's like, Kaleb. I was like, oh, never mind. I'm sorry. She looks like a sweet old lady. I was like, Barbra Bush dirt, trying to find some dirt.
Right after seeing former First Lady Barbara Bush, Kaleb goes to Google Barbra Bush dirt, Barbara Bush scandal, Barbara Bush evil, and just looks at all the InfoWars conspiracy theories about her.
And then the first thing that came up was Barbra Bush orders total assassination of 82 persons.
Now I have a question.
What's your question?
Do you have the right to spread that information around? That is a lie. Imagine if you said that in a public space. You said, Barbara Bush ordered the assassination
But I didn't say that.
Listen to me. I'm posing a hypothetical question, chimp. You say, Barbara Bush ordered the assassination of 82 people. You're lying. According to our government, no, it's not, because we're lying.
I think that falls under libel laws or something.
It falls under libel and
you're
sedition.
slandering a person.
Libel and slander. Do you personally agree with that? Do you agree with that?
Unless it's purposely satirical and artful.
And do you think that should be legal or illegal? That's why I'm asking you this question.
Slander?
Yeah,
of course.
How about you?
Yes.
My answer is also yes.
Yes, but me saying, "Hey, Kaleb, you're fucking retarded," I shouldn't go to prison for slander for that.
Yeah, you should.
No, I shouldn't.
Because I'm not retarded.
There should be restrictions. Being malicious and influence people in a way.
So we already talked about libel and slander. I think we all pretty much universally agree that libel and slander is wrong.
It's just it's a tough one for me. I feel like you should be able to express yourself and say what you want to say, and I don't want to put limitations on that, but there do need to be limitations. limitations on it.
In order to prove slander, don't you have to prove the intentions of what
Yeah,
they're
I think
saying?
the intention matters, and I think that's what we've always said on the podcast.
Intent matters, and that requires the discernation of a person. They have to be able to tell or at least investigate into the situation and find out someone's motive.
Yeah.
Like, InfoWars should have every right to exist. It's a conspiracy theorist channel that kind of slanders people sometimes, but all the same, it's like, it's a different point of view on things, and you shouldn't outright try to silence that, because...
Say a news outlet has information on a murder, like a local news outlet has information on a murder, but the police don't want that information going out yet, but it's already public information.
You see, yeah.
What do you think should be done in that situation?
I think it really depends on whether or not that information would have an effect or consequence on the investigation, like maybe the public knowing who it is or something.
So imagine it like this. This is a hypothetical example, and it's kind of extreme, but go with me because it works. So imagine there's a case, and there's like a racial hate crime. White person like kills a black person, and they do it for like racial hatred very clearly. And then the news outlet runs the name of that person. They got the information of that person, they got their address, and people like try to attack that person violently.
I think that's actually what happened with what's his fucking face? Zimmerman.
Yeah.
I think people actually
think about it though. Once that
there was actually like a bounty
on
his head.
Once that information is released publicly, is that a problem? Does that kind of speech need to be censored? Because it does harm someone else directly.
In that situation, it does become a problem because now the public is upset and they're going to try to riot and destroy shit.
But the outlets have a right to that information.
Again, it's like it's a really tough situation because
it's just public information. Like people can make their individual decisions.
Yeah, but
based on whatever.
how long before it should become public? Like right now, there's always the FBI releases a document, but bits of it are classified and blacked out.
But if you
how
say
long
one
before
of them, if you say one of it's okay, then none of it's okay.
Yeah, and now
then the line becomes thinner and thinner until the line's no longer there, and none of it's okay.
Yeah, and that's
that's kind of where I stand too. Is that if you put restrictions on it, those can be manipulated to be turned against you someday. It's why I've always said you should never outlaw hate speech, because who's defining hate speech? The laws are always going to change, and the people who are enforcing those laws are always going to change. Right now, maybe the right wing is the hateful one, but in 20 years' time, the left wing could be the hateful ones.
Mm-hmm.
In 20 years' time, I don't want a party system.
Well, I hate the two-party system, and that's a topic for another fucking day. That's kind of where it is right now. Like when you look at the Countdankula trial right now in the UK, where this dude made a prank video.
Well, everybody
for his
already
girlfriend.
knows the UK is fucked anyways.
Keep going.
It's not a serious country anymore.
I don't know this example.
Okay, so he's going to go to prison right now because he made one prank video like 2 years ago with his pet pug. He said that his girlfriend loves the thing more than him, and he's gonna make it into the ugliest thing he can imagine, which is a Nazi. So he taught the pug to do a Hitler salute every time he said Sieg Heil. And so he made a prank video with the dog, saluting Hitler and whatever.
My girlfriend is always ranting and raving about how cute and adorable her wee dog is. And so I thought I would turn them into the least cute thing that I could think of, which is a Nazi. Do you want to gas the juice? Mum will gas the juice, son. You want to gas the juice? Do you want to gas the juice? Come on, gas the juice. Sieg Heil. Sieg Heil.
And so now he spent the last 2 years going to court, and they finally decided that, he broke the law and committed a hate crime by saying Nazis are bad.
This is fucking stupid. Honestly, I probably would have laughed at that video because it's not funny.
I've seen it. It's not really all that funny. Countdankula, I don't really think is all that funny.
That name kind of makes me cringe in my fucking, in my stomach. Like, my stomach is turning.
Caleb, what was that issue you were talking about a second ago where it's either like you can censor everything or you can censor nothing? That kind of slippery slope argument, right? I've read a bunch of different novels this semester with the intent...
I know you can read.
Yeah, surprise, I can.
Chris is in college.
With the direct intent of analyzing the books to understand their arguments about free speech, thought, freedom of conscience, toleration on people by this guy named John Areopagitica. And he literally talks about this. If you think about it, olden days of Middle England, they had a big problem with censorship.
Oh yeah, if the king didn't like what you had to say,
It wasn't even that. So think, do you remember the period of history where there was like a mini civil war and the guy named Cromwell executed the king? And then
I remember the name Cromwell.
Basically, long story short, there was a big problem in England with sedition, and the Parliament wanted to enforce a law where they had to, they were able. Shut up.
It sounds like a fucking movie villain.
Government was trying to impose a law where they could censor the printing press and censor the public's access to information. So they would have to hire people called censors who would literally approve what could or could not be, who could approve what could or could not be read. So like, for example, the Catholic Church was hated in England, so they literally wanted to have censors so they could ban Catholic books. John Stuart Mill hated Catholics because he was a Protestant, but he argued against censoring Catholicism because if you censor one thing, anyone can censor anything. So I guess that question is still relevant today because it depends on if you can censor one thing, even if people consider it morally wrong. So if you silence Nazism, per se, because it's morally wrong, which it is, but that's not the point. If you censor one thing and justify it as it's not worthy of being in the public sphere, who's to say that other people won't, I don't know, silence your view or your opinion on the world? That's the issue at hand, and I think it's still relevant right now.
Say that?
If you define hate speech now, it's going to change later, and it's going to be used against you.
And there's been a bunch of different interpretations of this. Mill, in the end, said that you probably shouldn't, censor people, even if they're stupid and wrong. The truth will always win in the end. That was his argument.
Free speech and the exchange of free ideals, it will just sort itself out like a laissez-faire type, invisible hand.
If we're lucky. There are some times when the lies kind of can win in the end.
But they'll, you just still, even whenever it seems like that, you just give it time and eventually it'll fix itself.
That's the way that we hope things go.
There's numerous examples in fiction of, a villain dying and being remembered as a hero because someone spun a story the wrong way.
Always threats and harmful shit like that have always been a given.
It didn't used to be.
The classic example
it always has.
It did not used to be that way.
Ever since the First Amendment.
It was
always...
the First Amendment, but this is even before full blown...
That's what I'm saying.
You can't...
is to give it a birth of free speech.
You can't yell fire in a movie theater.
Who says I can't do that?
The law.
Okay. Several times,
So to introduce that, that's the kind of
I'm not going to the movies with you anytime soon because you're gonna fucking try that.
Okay,
shit.
I was joking. I know that you can't actually. Yes,
because
I know
the reason why that clause exists.
Didn't Barbara
shut up?
Didn't Barbara Bush?
Barbra Bush yelled fire in a theater and 83 people died. Get the loudspeaker. We're doing this tomorrow. I believe that free speech also comes with the right to remain silent. The beauty of free speech means that you don't have to talk.
You need to exercise that right more often.
I was trying to make a point, and what does Kaleb do? Derail the conversation.
Okay, but I think that Kaleb probably agrees with you, and I tend to agree with you as well. You have the right to remain silent.
The point's over. We're not going to go into an example about it. We're just going to say you have the right to remain silent.
There was a guy, Miranda, he was this Hispanic guy.
And he killed someone, raped someone. Yeah,
he killed and raped this girl, and then he wasn't told his rights, obviously, and then they got a confession out of him. But then
illegally.
But then that confession was void in court because they didn't read him the rights. So the guy actually did the crime, but...
Then they had to let him go, then he did it again.
Yeah, then he did it again and got caught. Make a movie about it, some shit.
Probably already is one.
Probably called Miranda, and then people are thinking about it's gonna be a sweet little girl.
Oh, it's Miranda Cosgrove, iCarly, right?
The director of the iCarly guy, what's his name?
Dan Schneider!
This ain't a fucking game, bitch! I wanna see a titty!
He got kicked out of Nickelodeon for liking feet.
Have you seen the infamous tweet where Sam and Cat TV show said, send us pictures of your feet, the new episode of Sam and Cat coming out soon? Show us your excitement by sending pictures of your feet.
That's fucking disgusting,
No,
dude.
You know Dan Schneider was the one who typed that up.
Oh, yeah.
Gross.
Got another little iCarly segment.
They drew faces on their toes?
Yeah.
He wrote that in. He wrote that in.
Yeah,
That's
Dan
why he
Schneider.
approved it.
It wasn't that good of a show anyways. I'm glad Mark Zuckerberg.
Mark Wahlberg.
Not Mark
CEO and founder of Facebook.
Of
Mark
Wall Street.
Wahlberg.
And Mark Zuckerberg is getting hammered in Congress right now.
He's not getting hammered in Congress. They threw him a bunch of softballs, and he fucking sat there, was fucking straight, and he'd say,
Well, at least it's something.
I'm sorry about that, Senator. I'll follow up with you on that, though. I'd love to have this discussion, Senator.
That's not what happened on the first day.
Ted Cruz said, why do you censor conservative views on Facebook? Why did you fire my conservative friend from Facebook? You're a user of agreement sucks.
Your user agreement sucks. I'm going to suggest to you that you go back home and rewrite it.
Zuck is a lizard confirmed. That's all I have to say. I watched that. He's a fucking lizard.
Walks, drinks, moves, talks like a goddamn robot.
I have to drink like a normal human now.
I must now hydrate my vocal organs.
He is not real.
Must now lubricate my insides. What's the clip of him? He's like, that's just being human, you know? I was human once.
He said that a bunch of kids, right?
Yeah.
But it is going to bother you because you're human, and I was human. I am human still. But I was just referring to myself in the past. Not that I was not human.
Mark Zuckerberg's an asshole, and he stole Facebook.
Fuck you, Zuckerberg!